Hey guys, today I'm going to go into an article from news.com.au. New shocking report, not great news for renters with property availability at record low. This shouldn't be seen as any surprise to anyone, but it does highlight how bad things actually are. I'm going to go and dig into a little bit deeper as I always do. And basically I'm going to come at it straight at you, and that is that things are going to get worse before they get better. Let's get into it. So the news report from news.com.au is titled Shocking Report, Not Great News for Renters with Property Availability at Record Low. So this is a quick read, but it actually just tells you how dire things are in the renting market at the moment. And it kind of rubber stamps that housing shortage narrative that people have been going on about, but it hasn't got much news really the last few years, and it's going to continue because there's less buildings being built. Buildings cost more to build, and that's across house and land, but also the larger city apartments, which is what you had with the whole the cheap Chinese bats saga, and a lot of clampdown on that in say 2018 or whenever that happened, pre-pandemic times. But overall, this shortage is coming back to bite us in the backside. So let's just go over the article now. A new report has highlighted the dire state of renting in Australia, with the number of affordable rental properties having halved since the start of the pandemic. The PropTrack Market Insight report revealed the share of rental properties available for less than $400 a week has dropped from 41.8% at the start of the pandemic to just under 19.3% this month. Yeah, that's a massive difference. You think of the people kind of financially on the bottom of the pile. That is a massive amount of properties to basically go up and make life a lot harder for those sorts of people. The article just goes on to say pretty much the same thing. It provides a couple more stats around renting throughout the country. I'll just read some of these lines here explaining how it's different in different places in the country. The rental crisis is at its worst in ACT, Hobart and Darwin, where less than 10% of listings are under $400 a week. In Sydney, the number of unaffordable properties has halved in just 1 year. Regional areas have also seen rental listings under $400 slashed by half since the beginning of the pandemic. It's pretty clear that we've got some serious issues in the rental market at the moment, Mr. Kusher said. Mr. Kusher, I believe, is with the company CoreLogic. So they do a lot of data. I could be wrong there. And that's basically the article that comes to this graphic here. So that's basically the whole article. I mean, it's pretty simple. This report comes out and tells us everything's really bad. This graphic here highlights it, so you can either pause the video or we'll have the link in the show notes if you want to go look at it at further detail. But basically, it just double stamps what the article has gone on about. So I'm just going to dive into what I think about this article, and I'm just going to spill it out off the top of my head. So firstly, if you are a homeowner, then you should consider yourself very lucky. Now, I know that sounds anti-intuitive because there's a lot of homeowners crying out at the moment because interest rates have gone up so much. But here's the thing, at least you've got the opportunity to live the Australian dream, if that even exists anymore. And the point I'm making is the people in these articles, the people that these articles affect might not have that chance. And that's a pretty sad thought. Secondly, the property shortage isn't going away. I touched on that before. At the end of the day, there's a certain amount of people and there's not enough properties. And to fix that, you need to build them. And based on the way our society is structured, there is a time lag there. it's not as if we're the Chinese and we can build all these properties in the space of 12 months. It doesn't work like that here. This thing is going to take years to resolve itself if we started today. And at the moment, we haven't started. We're just kind of digging our heads in the sand. The poorer you are, the worse it's going to get is my other thought here. And that shouldn't be of any surprise. People say I'm quite negative about the economy, but if you look at the last 5 years, then yes, there's a reason for that. It should be pretty obvious. And I'll just double stamp that. The price of housing, the price of electricity, the price of food, the price of fuel, healthcare, the price of everything has gone up. And the thing is that the poor people, their incomes don't rise quick enough to be able to pay for all of this stuff. The next thing that comes to thought is the property market is a problem and we've just got our heads in the sand. I said that I think it's going to keep going until something seriously breaks. And that's my broader opinion for how the world stands at the moment. We've got the same type of politicians, we've got the same systems, we've got the same infrastructures, we've got the same big companies. Things are just going to continue on this downward trend until something properly breaks. And unfortunately, the poorer you are, you're going to suffer the worst out of that. The other thing I wanted to add on there is in Australia, we need to immigrate to get skills in, which is crazy to think, right? But we do. And here's the thing, that housing shortage is going to be even shorter because obviously there's going to be demand for more property. Again, it's sad because we are bringing highly educated people in as a general rule, and they're getting paid more. And that great Australian dream, that's why I said if it exists anymore, because back in the 50s or pick whatever decade from ages ago, you could literally come here with the shirt on your back and you could have security for your family and not be exposed to, bad things like wars and stuff like that. So it's just interesting to see how far we've come on the immigration side of things. Again, I just want to touch on everything about what I say sounds negative, but if you look at the outside world, badder and badder things are happening. So if you want to take the positive side of things, that's fine, so long as you're doing something about it, so long as you're taking action to improve who you are or kind of your position in life. Because you could be positive, but just have your head in the sand. And if you do that, and that's what a lot of people do financially, it's not going to get better for you, unfortunately. The flip side of my negativity is that when the world gets through whatever phase of history we're going to call this in the future is going to be incredibly bright. We haven't adopted all these new technologies that have been really invented the last 10 years. They're going to come about. We're going to have politicians who actually act in the best interest of us and not appeal to their populist sort of benefactors. We're going to have politicians that are going to work more for the people. All this old guard, they're going to get cleared away. All of the countries, they're going to get cleared away. And it will no longer be a populist thing where it's right versus left or green, wherever they stand. It's going to be more of what Parliament should be, what politicians should be, which is working together to put things in place that are the best for the people of whatever country they're managing. And clearly that's not the case at the moment. Clearly the politicians, it's some sort of crony capitalism system where the politicians and the big guys at the top of these big businesses and organizations are just kind of helping themselves out. So things will get incredibly positive, but until then, this storm's not over and we've got to ride it out. That's the article explained for the day. If you like my take on the news, you can go and watch the previous one I did, which was 5 signs the economy's in recession, which is a really important thing to go over. I touch on a lot of important topics which just get forgotten in the news. So go and have a watch of that, and if there's anything you want me to comment on or any news articles you want me to comment on, let me know. Give us a like and subscribe to support the channel, and we'll catch you next time.